Can we just like take a moment to address the issue, which is asking a married person inappropriate questions? What's considered an inappropriate question? When I first got married, I was not expecting certain types of questions. I was honestly just expecting regular normal questions like, oh, so how did you meet? You know, that's an appropriate question. How did you know that, you know, like what made you feel like you were comfortable enough to marry this person? I consider that an appropriate question. But then it got to the point where people started asking really inappropriate questions. What is wrong with you? What makes you think that this is an appropriate question to ask? What makes you think that I'm going to tell you this? You're probably like, dang, Kamara, what kind of questions did you get? The real question at hand is, what kind of questions did I not get? And I know all these other married couples probably experience the same exact thing on social media, especially when, you know, you could anonymously ask a person something, because when you put that anon on, people just become all types of blunt, and it's like, you would not ask me that question to my face. So what makes you think it's okay to ask it behind the screen with a little figure with glasses that no one knows? Like, no. Let's talk about questions that you can't ask a married person because it's not appropriate. It's not appropriate to ask them, okay? I thought it was common knowledge that you do not ask a married person intimate questions about personal, you know, experiences with their spouse. Like I said, there's just questions that you just don't ask, and that's one of them. Like, not only is that completely invading privacy, but like, it's completely un-Islamic. Like, you don't talk about bedroom secrets. You don't talk about the types of things that, you know, you and your spouse do intimately. Like, you don't talk about that. So why would you ask someone that? Like, that's just inappropriate. It's just wrong. Don't do that. I guess because we live in a society where it's like people just boast about their relations, that it's like, oh yeah, let me just ask her, it's totally cool. Like, no, it's not. Don't ask a married person what they do. That's inappropriate. Don't ask. It's not appropriate to ask a person, by a person I mean a woman, to ask a woman if she's pregnant. If she wanted you to know that she's pregnant, if she wanted you to know that she's pregnant, she would tell you. She would straight up and say, hey, you guys, by the way, let me explain my weight gain. There is a child inside of me. So if someone did not tell you, they don't have to tell you those exact words, but if they did not tell you that they are pregnant, don't assume that they're pregnant just because they gain weight. Like, not every woman who gains weight gains it because there is a living being inside of her. Like, there's other ways to gain weight, like food, for example. When you learn how to cook, like me, I learned how to cook because I was like, ooh, my food is good. I'm about to eat it. So, because I ate all my food all the time, you gain weight, especially when you don't like balance exercise with, you know, a well-balanced diet. Like, if you don't do that, then you're gonna gain weight. So, by the way, I'm not pregnant. I'm just chubby. So let's put that on the inappropriate question list. Do not ask a person, do not ask a woman if she's pregnant. It's none of your business. Not to mention, not every woman and not every man can have a child. Like, medically, they cannot have a child. So why would you ask them to remind them that they can't have a child? Like, hey, I know you didn't tell me this personal information that you can't have a child, but hey, are you having a child? Are you pregnant? Did you get your wife pregnant yet? Like, time's ticking. I know you guys only been married for 2 years, but come on now, where's your child? That's how I feel. People are constantly like, hey, Kamara, when are you having a baby? I'm not God. I don't know. Why are you asking me these questions? Hey, Kamara, are you pregnant? I know people only mean well when they ask these questions. Like, oh, you know, babies are cute. Babies are lovely. You know, they do this thing where they cry all the time and they stop sometimes when you give them food and stuff like that. I know, like, people, they get excited when a married couple, when people get married, they get excited, and then they get excited when they have a baby. But not every couple wants to have a baby as soon as they get married. Like, you know, nikah done, baby's on the way 2 weeks later, like, no, can we just stop this? Where people feel pressured from their communities and social media to have a baby as soon as they, like, no. Let a couple be a couple. If they decide they want to have a child, or if they decide, or if Allah decides a baby's coming, then a baby's coming. And you'll know if they decide to share that with you. Don't pry. Don't try to, you know, poke at it until it pops and bursts and then you find out. Don't do that. If someone wanted you to know, they would tell you. So, you know, that's inappropriate. Don't ask about pregnancy. Don't ask if they're pregnant. Don't ask them why they haven't had a child yet. Like, come on, let's think about the kind of stuff we're asking. That's, especially when you're typing, like, you have time to reread your questions and then before you click that send button. And a lot of times people hide behind this anonymous thing that's on social media, especially like Tumblr. People hide behind the anons and ask the most blunt questions, and it's like, why? What made you think that that was acceptable? If you're not gonna ask this person this question in person, and we all know the kind of questions that we would ask someone in person, so if this is not one of those in-person kind of questions, don't ask it, okay? Just don't ask it. I think I went over everything. Okay.